Do you know that the food you ate this morning could be quietly damaging your memory? Most people over 70 have no idea. Today, we are going to talk about 7 foods that researchers have linked to memory loss after 70. Stay until the end, because number 5 surprises almost everyone. Let us begin. Think about your mornings. What does breakfast usually look like? For most seniors, it has looked the same for 40 or 50 years. A piece of toast, white toast, warm from the toaster, maybe with a little butter or jam. Simple, comforting. The smell of it in the morning feels like home. I understand that. I truly do. Some of our oldest, most comforting habits are built around bread. But here is what most people have never been told. White bread and all refined flour products like white pasta, white rice, crackers, and pastries behave almost exactly like sugar once they enter your body. They break down rapidly and cause your blood sugar to spike fast and high. And then, just as quickly, it crashes. Think about 2 women, Ruth and Helen. Both are 73 years old. Both are healthy. Both eat what they consider a normal diet. Ruth starts every morning with white toast and a small glass of juice. Sometimes a bagel. At lunch, a white bread sandwich. At dinner, white rice on the side. She has eaten this way her whole life and cannot imagine changing it. Helen made one quiet change for years ago. She switched to whole grain bread, the dense, seeded kind that takes longer to chew. She replaced white rice with brown. She did not go on a diet. She did not give up anything she loved. She simply made those 2 swaps. 4 years later, Helen says her mind feels sharper in the mornings than it did a decade ago. Ruth has started to notice, with some worry, that she cannot always find the right word when she is speaking. That names take longer to come. That afternoons feel foggy. The connection, according to researchers, is inflammation. Repeated blood sugar spikes day after day, year after year, create low-grade inflammation throughout the body, including inside the brain. And an inflamed brain ages faster. This does not mean you can never have a piece of white bread again. It means that if it is your everyday foundation, your brain may be paying a price you cannot see yet. 1 swap. Whole grain instead of white. Start there. That one change, made consistently, matters more than most people realize. I want you to think back for a moment. Do you remember when margarine became the healthy choice? It was everywhere. Doctors recommended it. Television advertisements showed happy, healthy families spreading it on their bread. Real butter, we were told, was dangerous. Margarine was the smart, responsible alternative. Millions of seniors made that switch, faithfully, gratefully, and many of them, perhaps you, perhaps someone you love, are still using it today. A tub of it in the refrigerator. The same brand, bought every week for 30 years. I do not blame anyone for this. We trusted what we were told. But what the science has uncovered since then is something that the margarine advertisements never mention. Consider 2 men, Edward and Frank, both 76, both careful about their health. Edward uses real butter, a small amount, spread thin. He never saw a reason to change. Frank switched to margarine in his mid-50s when his doctor suggested it for his cholesterol. He has been loyal to it ever since. He feels good about the choice. He believes he is doing something right for his body. What Frank does not know is that many margarine products still contain trans fats and partially hydrogenated oils, even some that are labeled as healthy. And these fats, consumed in small amounts every single day over decades, have been found in research to cause measurable damage to the aging brain. The brain is nearly 60% fat. Not just any fat, the right kinds of fat. It literally builds itself from the fats you eat. Feed it healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, real butter in small amounts, and it has the raw material it needs to maintain itself. Feed it artificial, processed fats year after year, and over time, that maintenance becomes harder. Look in your refrigerator tonight. If there's a tub of margarine there, you now know something that most people do not. A drizzle of olive oil on your toast. A small scrape of real butter. These are not indulgences. They are, for your brain, genuinely better choices. Living alone changes the way you eat. If you have spent years cooking for a family, and then one day, the kitchen is quiet, the table is set for one, it changes everything about how meals feel. A sandwich is easy, quick. It requires no real effort. Open the refrigerator, pull out the deli meat, 2 slices of bread, and lunch is done. For many seniors, this is not just a meal. It is a small act of getting through the day. I say this with complete understanding, not judgment. But processed deli meats, packaged turkey, ham, bologna, salami carry two things that the aging brain struggles with deeply. The first is sodium. These meats are extraordinarily high in salt, and high sodium, over time, thickens and stiffens the blood vessels, including the tiny vessels that carry oxygen and nutrients directly to your brain. Less blood flow to the brain means slower thinking, greater fatigue, and faster cognitive aging. The second is chemical preservatives, nitrates and nitrites, that researchers have linked to neurological inflammation. Think about two women, Patricia and Gloria, both 75, both living alone. Patricia eats a deli meat sandwich for lunch almost every day. She has done this for years. Lately, her son has noticed that she sometimes repeats herself in the same conversation, that she seems foggy in the afternoons, that she occasionally forgets what she was saying mid-sentence. She laughs it off. Everyone does. Gloria used to eat the same way, but after her doctor flagged her sodium levels 2 years ago, she made a change. Scrambled eggs for lunch some days. A simple homemade soup from a can of low-sodium broth and whatever vegetables she had. A boiled egg with some fruit. Small, easy meals that did not require much cooking, but that were kinder to her brain. Her daughter says Gloria seems more present, more herself, more sharp. You do not have to cook elaborate meals. You just have to make one different choice at lunchtime, a few days a week. Your brain will notice, even if you do not, at least not right away. If you are still watching and finding this helpful, please comment the number 3 below right now. It lets us know you are here, and it helps this video reach more people who need to hear this. Thank you. Now let us continue. I walk down the cereal aisle of any grocery store, and you will see a wall of cheerful boxes, bright colors, friendly fonts, words like fortified, heart, healthy and rich, natural. They are designed to feel safe, responsible, good for you. And millions of seniors choose these boxes every week, feeling confident that they are starting the day right. I want to gently ask you to turn one of those boxes around tonight. Look at the sugar content on the nutrition label, not the total carbohydrates, specifically the added sugar. You may be surprised by what you find. Some of the most popular breakfast cereals, including ones that do not taste especially sweet, contain more sugar per serving than a chocolate bar. Think about two men, Arthur and James, both 71 years old, both retired, both healthy enough. It is his ritual, his comfort. The sound of it pouring into the bowl is part of what waking up feels like to him. James switched his breakfast 3 years ago after his grandson, who is studying nutrition, sat with him one afternoon and quietly showed him the sugar content on the cereal box. James felt embarrassed at first, then he felt determined. He switched to plain oatmeal cooked the old-fashioned way, with a handful of blueberries and a sprinkle of walnuts on top. He did not expect to like it. He did. 3 years later, James says he rarely gets that mid-morning fog he used to accept as normal. That heavy, slow feeling between breakfast and lunch that made him want to sit down and close his eyes. Arthur still gets it. Every day. That fog has a name. It is a blood sugar crash. It comes after every high sugar meal, as the body scrambles to bring blood sugar back down. And for the aging brain, which depends on steady, consistent fuel, those daily crashes add up to something serious over years and decades. Check the label tonight. 5 grams of added sugar or less per serving is a reasonable target. Your brain is worth that 2 minutes of reading. I told you that number 5 would surprise you, and for most people it does. Diet soda, 0 calories, no sugar. The responsible choice that millions of health-conscious seniors switched to, sometimes decades ago, feeling proud of making a smarter decision. Maybe it is one can in the afternoon. Maybe it is something you have with lunch every day. It has become a small pleasure, a harmless habit, something you have earned. I understand how hard it is to hear that something you feel good about may not be good for you at all, but I would not be sharing this with you if I did not believe you deserve to know the truth. A large and carefully conducted research study found that people who drank artificially sweetened beverages, diet sodas, and similar drinks every day were nearly 3 times more likely to experience stroke or dementia compared to people who did not drink them. 3 times. Think about two women, both 74. Both switched to diet soda years ago because they wanted to do something good for their health. Norma has one diet cola every afternoon without fail. It is her little reward after a busy morning. She has done this for 16 years and has never considered stopping. Her friend Alice read about this research about 2 years ago. She sat quietly with it for a few days. Then she made a change. She bought a case of plain sparkling water and squeezed half a lemon into her glass each afternoon. She will admit it took about 3 weeks to stop missing the cola. Now, she does not miss it at all. The reason diet sodas appear to affect the brain comes down to what artificial sweeteners do to the gut. The gut and the brain are connected far more deeply than most people realize through something researchers call the gut-brain axis. When artificial sweeteners disrupt the balance of bacteria in the gut, that disruption sends signals that affect brain function, mood, and memory. 1 can a day, every afternoon, over 16 years. That is thousands of small disruptions, quietly adding up. Sparkling water with lemon, herbal tea, plain water with cucumber and mint. These are not sacrifices. They are gifts to your brain given one afternoon at a time. The evenings can be long when you live alone. The television is on. The day is done. And for so many seniors, the evening has a ritual, something warm, something familiar, something to hold onto while the hours pass. For millions of people, that something is a bag of microwave popcorn. It feels completely innocent. It is not a real meal. It is just a snack, just something to do with your hands while you watch your programs. For 78-year-old George, the evening ritual was simple. A bag of microwave popcorn to ease the loneliness of living alone. It felt innocent, but his daughter, a nurse, knew the hidden risks. Many brands use a compound called diacetyl for that artificial butter flavor. Research shows diacetyl can cause proteins to clump in the brain, forming plaques associated with Alzheimer's disease. George eventually swapped the microwave bags for plain air-popped popcorn with a drizzle of olive oil and sea salt. He didn't feel cheated. He found the flavor more honest and real. Comforting rituals don't have to end, they just need to change. Choosing snacks like walnuts, sliced apples, or air-popped popcorn is a kinder way to protect your brain while keeping the comfort you love. This is the one I want to handle carefully, because I know how personal this is. For many seniors, a glass of wine in the evening is not just a drink. It is a ritual. It is a memory of dinner parties and celebrations and evenings with a spouse who is no longer there. It is one of the small pleasures that belongs entirely to you at the end of your own day. And for decades, we were told it was fine, more than fine, beneficial. The research said red wine was good for the heart. New large-scale research reveals that for the aging brain, there is no truly safe amount of alcohol. In those over 70, even small, regular amounts can accelerate the shrinking of the hippocampus, the vital part of the brain that holds your memories, recognizes faces, and remembers the names of those you love. Consider Thomas, who swapped his nightly wine for warm chamomile tea and honey. Within months, he experienced deeper sleep, clearer mornings, and found it easier to recall words during conversation. You have earned the right to choose how you live your life. However, your memories and the stories you tell are worth protecting. Consider having an honest conversation with your doctor about whether this one small change could help preserve the people and moments you hold most dear. Knowing these 7 foods is your first step toward true awareness. I'm not asking you to empty your kitchen overnight, but to understand that even at 70 or 80, your brain has a remarkable power to respond and heal. When you swap processed habits for real nourishment, you aren't just changing a snack, you are protecting the faces, names, and stories that make your life beautiful. Your memory is worth fighting for, and the power to protect it starts in your kitchen. If any of these 7 foods surprised you, please tell me which one in the comments below, and share this with someone you love. Take good care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.